downstairs or whether I was traveling or on the phone, whatever it was. It might be 5 minutes, it might be 55 minutes. And it was, you know, he was in it with me, and he felt the joy of every win and the pain of every loss, just like the coaches did. And that was the cool part of that.
Yeah, being in Cincinnati with guys that, we're all familiar with. I grew up with Hugh Jackson in L.A., and so I've known Hugh, and Hugh coached with you for a long time. And just having guys on that particular team, Pac-Man Jones is one of the guys I kind of was in the league with for quite a few years and worked with him as a punt returner in Tennessee. Just out of all those teams in 16 years, that's a long time. What season kind of stands out to you the most while you were in Cincinnati, as far as, the players, the organization, everybody? And I know that, all the seasons have a different feel for them, but what season do you remember and that you can tell us a story about that really kind of jumps out at you in those 16 years being in Cincinnati?
Well, yeah, you're correct, Ned. There's quite a few the great times we had there. But I want to say maybe the 2011, 2012, the transition from, in 2003 when I got the job there, I guess, unfortunately, I inherited the first pick in the draft. That means the team before I got there didn't do very well. Fortunately for that, in Carson Palmer, there was a first pick in the draft, because sometimes the teams have first pick and there's not a first pick choice. But Carson was everything you wanted in the first pick. But when he decided that he felt like he was bogged down, he wasn't going anywhere from Cincinnati, and decided he didn't want to play for the Bengals anymore and was going to hold out, we were fortunate enough to draft in the first round A.J. Green in 2011 and Andy Dalton in the second round. And, the morning of the draft, we had made the decision weeks prior as we had our draft meetings that if we were either we had the fourth pick we had earned, unfortunately, after the 2008 season. And Cam Newton, if he were on the board, we had to take him because we needed a quarterback. He went number 1 to Carolina. And we knew then that we were going to have a pick of hopefully A.J. Green or Von Miller. And obviously it ended up being A.J. Green. And then we had decided, the owner, that if we got the player we wanted, we would move back up in the first round at the end of the round and try to move back up, I should say. And we had called teams and they had said, yeah, if our guy's not there, we'd move back. I think we picked Andy at 34, and we would move back to pick Andy or we'd move back to your spot and give you our first round pick, and then they would take our first round pick for the next year. And actually, during that morning, the owner decided he did not want to move. So we ended up holding our breath to the next day and got Andy at that pick. And that really, because there was a lot of doubt about everything, and those two guys really solidified everything. And then the lockout came, or was part of the lockout. So the big men on the football team, Andrew Whitworth, Domata Peko, those guys led us out of the lockout. We became a better football team without the coaches around, which is the best part of a team, is what they do out there, on their own without the coaches and everything. And we really did come out of the lockout a stronger, more physical, better football team.
Marvin Lewis joining us. Just a few more minutes here on the opening drive. And, Coach, as we are just a few days away from the Super Bowl now. What are the last couple of days like in that week? All the hype, everything that's going on. But when it's down to just the final 2 days before game day, what's it like around the team, the coaches, as you get ready for the biggest game?
Well, the teams basically, what I was experienced the 2 times that I have been there is you put your plan in the week before while you're in your own facility. And then when you go to the site, when we went from Baltimore to Tampa, it was so cold in Baltimore, and we were practicing outside, and the guys had so many clothes on all the time to stay warm at practice. They could hardly move. And we got to Tampa, and they were running around like little kids because it was so warm. And we had this. I remember Brian and I saying, "Hey, we got to slow these guys down before they hurt somebody." So you're literally just reviewing things when you get to the game, and by Friday of the game week, it's basically your last review for playing the game on Sunday. Everybody's excited. You're trying now to get them to focus away from their families and their guests they have there at the site, and now let's really focus Friday, Saturday on winning this football game. We've put everything in it for so long since we began in the off-season program in the end of April, and so now let's put everything together here and let's go win the football game.
And Coach, lastly for me, we've seen in the NFL, especially with the coaching cycle over the last few years, it's hot young offensive coordinators working with young quarterbacks. But you look at this Super Bowl, you have former defense coordinator of the Ravens, Mike McDaniel, Mike Vrabel, a defensive guy, and kind of two defensive head coaches getting to this point. What do you make of that coaching matchup?
Yeah, well, it's great for coaches that came up like myself, coaching on the defensive side of the ball that way. But I think I've met Mike Macdonald maybe once, and I've just been so impressed with how he's done this since becoming the head coach of the Seahawks. And he comes in there with a very experienced and just a guy who's done an awesome job, John Schneider, the GM, and so. But Mike has done a great job. And then Mike Vrabel, I've known him since, I went and helped work him out when he came out of Ohio State, drafted by the Steelers. So I've been around Mike Vrabel, and then he coaches at Ohio State. Been around Mike for a long time and just respect his work. And, his defensive coordinator was stricken with prostate cancer this year. Mike stepped up and actually helped coach the defense more than he was expecting to this season, and just how they've played all year. They're extreme. Both teams are extremely sound. They don't make mental mistakes on defense, and then that transfers over to the offense, where you have Josh McDaniel, who's very experienced, obviously been a head coach, an offensive coordinator. I think 3 times now stints in New England. And then you go to the other side, Clint Kubiak, who I guess is rumored to be, because it's not official yet, the next head coach of the Raiders, who both guys grew up coaching since they were, basically young people with Clint, the son of Gary, and, just great careers, and it's exciting for them as well.
Yeah, Marvin, just the last thing before we let you out of here. I know you got a big meeting to head to, but coming from the East Coast and going to Idaho State, I know the Purdue thing didn't work out, and then you took a scholarship to go to Idaho State. What was your experience like at Idaho State? We've got the Idaho Vandals coach here at the University of New Mexico, Jason Eck, who did a great job last season. But just what was it like coming from the East Coast and then winding up at Idaho State and doing what you did there, going into their Hall of Fame, and your experience as a young man coming off the East Coast and heading west?
Ned, I had no idea when they said it's in the mountains what that meant. I mean, literally,
yeah.
No idea. And, I didn't know anything about the LDS religion. Things like that were the things that right away. But I will tell you, there was a lot of the coaching staff that was in place most of them had come from the East Coast. And so there were a lot of players on the squad that were from New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Newark in Jersey, Rhode Island. And so we had a lot of players from the East Coast. And so I was like their little brother. I mean, they would take care of me and make sure I was okay. And they were big linemen, too. But it was a great experience to obviously be in a different part of the world than growing up in Pittsburgh, 2,000 miles away from there. And, I spent 9 years in Idaho, very dear to me, a lot of great friends still today. And, every time you go somewhere, you you make friends and so forth, and it's just like being in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
You know, we own a home now above the city of Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it's you know, kind of our zen, our happy place when we get to go there.
That's great, Marvin, because there's a lot of guys still here that they just love the fact that, you know, you coached all those years in Cincinnati. I hear from them all the time and how they played for you here while they were at New Mexico. They're all, you know, older guys. I'm not going to say old guys like me, but they're still around town and they still talk about you and they're still proud of you and still happy that they, you know, were fortunate enough to be around you. And just thanks again for coming on. And I think a lot of them are listening this morning and they're excited that, you know, that to hear from you and to hear your voice again and know that you're still out there.
Well, I appreciate them, and when I do come to town, I've had an opportunity to get with Scotty Craig, and you know, he tells people he's the best linebacker I ever coached, and you know,
yeah,
and I don't want to burst his bubble, but he's not quite there. There was one guy that wore number 52, was just a little bit better.
Yeah, that guy.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us in the opening drive this morning. Enjoy the weekend, and I know a lot of people are excited to hear you, so thank you so much.
All right, my pleasure, guys. Great to be with you. Have a great day.
That is former head coach Marvin Lewis joining us this morning on the opening drive. What a career he had, a defense coordinator, 16 years as an NFL head coach, and, of course, that stint right there in Albuquerque, University of Mexico. It's opening drive right here on the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico.
Coach Marvin Lewis, who did have a stint here at the University of New Mexico, of course, when our quarterback Ned James was throwing the football around the field for UNM. And, you know, Ned, when you look at Marvin Lewis and what he did in Cincinnati was phenomenal, for one, because we know that ownership group can absolutely be challenging. As much as he appreciates them for that opportunity, 16 years as a head coach, we've kind of heard the stories from Cincinnati. But what was it like, you know, when you have a coach that worked with you back then, and then you see the career he goes on to, and of course you've been in the NFL, you bounced around college, but 16 years is crazy.
Yeah. And, you know, like the relationships you build with people, and like, that's why I use the term older, because, you know, Marvin was a coach when I was a player. And like, you know, he's talking to Terrence Mathis and Scott Cregan, and there's a lot of guys, Thomas Crum, guys around here that have gone to visit him over the years. And, you know, he's had all these great players, coaching Ray Lewis with the Ravens and being the defensive coordinator there. And all his travels, Marvin is humbled. You know, he was on the West Coast. He's a Pennsylvania guy who came to work at New Mexico, and, you know, just has this, you know, fondness. His kids were born here, and the fact that he just really kind of reaches back out and tries to stay in touch with so many guys. And and feels a part of this community still to this day after over 40-something years, 50-something years. And a lot of people are probably hearing for the first time that, this famous NFL coach, once passed through here and still, like you said, has a house here. So it was really kind of just a good interview. People, if you get a chance to go back and listen, they should. Just kind of, telling the story of, his career and his life coming out west here and being a football coach. It's something really, a lot of people can kind of glean from and think that, this is a special place. And he really appreciated the opportunities he got to coach as a result of being here.
He's the quarterback, Matt James. JJ Buck with you. It is the opening drive around 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Hub.
This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Your home
for the NFL all season long. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Are you ready for one more Football Friday? The Super Bowl this Sunday, New England and Seattle here right here on the Sports Animal, your exclusive home for Super Bowl coverage in the NFL. Has been brought to you by Hyenas Comedy Club right here on the Sports Animal. If you're looking to have some fun, check out Hyenas Comedy Club. Great comics coming in each and every weekend. Hyenas Comedy Club located in the Wynn Rocktown Center. He's the quarterback, Ned James. I am JJ Buck, trying to make it through this morning here in Boise, Idaho. We have plenty on deck for you this morning. Don't you worry. We got Jeff Grammer coming up at 9 o'clock. Could run back an interview we had with the voice of the Patriots, Bob Socci, who was the original voice of the Albuquerque Isotopes, and look where he is now, back in the Super Bowl with the Patriots. You know, Ned, this is a game on Sunday. I think it's going to be close. I really like the Patriots front seven. I think they have the advantage there. You brought it up earlier with the special teams. Seattle, the trade for Rashid Shaheed and what he's been able to do. I think they have the edge on special teams. When you look at the run game, I think it's pretty close between Stevenson and Walker. Same with the offensive lines. And so it comes down to the quarterback. Well, you have Sam Darnold, who the ghosts are gone. I believe in Sam Darnold. He's got Jackson Smith-Njigba, the offensive player of the year, named last night at the NFL Honors. And then Drake May is going to have to make some plays outside of the pocket. And I'm thinking this is going to be a low-scoring game, maybe 24-20. But when you kind of look down at each unit, what do you see from this game on Sunday?
Yeah, looking at the units, the Patriots, they've really done a good job. And Vrabel's philosophy, is just he's going to run the football. I mean, they're going to run the football. They're going to, throw high percentage passes. They're going to take their shots when they need to. But they're not really going to be that aggressive offensively. And neither team is that way, really. I mean, I know, like you said, Jackson Smith-Njigba won Player of the Year as far as receivers go, but they don't really, kind of push the ball down the field, so to speak. But they're really conservative in their approach offensively with Kubiak, who's kind of a West Coast offensive guy, which is the high percentage stuff that they do West Coast wise. And so that's how I see the game, and that's why a lot of people are picking it to be a low scoring game because of the fact that these are two defensive coaches. Like Marvin Lewis was saying, relatively conservative in their approach. And this is what gets you to a Super Bowl. You just, kind of limit, the mistakes offensively. You don't want to get the ball turned over. Even though Sam Darnold had a history of that, a lot of people, kind of worry about him going, reverting back to those old tendencies. But like you said, as you're trying to break it down, people try to get these, pieces of offense. In the Super Bowl, you just never know. That's why it's so difficult to pick, which team will win. That's why I steer away all the time from picking who's going to win the game. In a game like this, you just really don't know. You can kind of, lean towards Seattle because of defense and special teams. But at the same time, Vrabel is an experienced guy who's coached in the NFL before. This is McDonald's first rodeo as the head coach. Vrabel kind of has the experience on his side when it comes to head coaching, and when you're breaking down these individual pieces and parts, it can go either way in a big game like this. You just never know. The night before the Super Bowl, like Marvin's saying, guys are running around. They practiced in the cold. New England was practicing in the cold. I mean, Vrabel's talking about they put everything in. In New England, how do you put everything in when you're in a blizzard for a whole entire week before, you're headed to the West Coast for the Super Bowl? So, and I think both coaches, they speak to that. They speak to the fact that they've put the game plan in the week before. You treat it almost like you treat those bye weeks. You got to, you still have to, coach and practice guys. But then you don't want to, kind of, get them too banged up in that week that they, are off. And then you come in that next week and you try to ramp up and get them ready for the Super Bowl and all the festivities. And you got to deal with tickets and you got to deal with all that other stuff. But you do have to kind of tamp the guys down a little bit because they're get a little excited about playing in this big game and the nerves and the jitters and that sort of stuff. And then there's crazy things that happen the night before the Super Bowl. We've seen it a lot over the years with players either getting into trouble or something happening, and there's life that happens. It's just one of the things that really jumps out, because a good friend of mine in Los Angeles, Anthony Harris, his nephew Terrell Williams, who's the defensive coordinator, who's battling cancer for the Patriots. Our prayers are with him and his family. The fact that Vrabel's had to take over the defense because Terrell has been sick. So that's another element to this game that a lot of people aren't really familiar with, that I knew, and I didn't know Marvin was going to bring it up, but the fact that he's related to a really good friend of mine that I grew up with, speaks to just what it takes, as far as in these organizations, how you have to adjust to so many things through the course of a season, and that's what the Super Bowl is about. It's about families getting together and people you having to adjust because your family's going through a lot of things, and this is a way to bring people together, and all these fan bases for both of these teams are coming together at this time, and people around the world are going to be watching which is considered the greatest sporting event in our country, at least at the end of the season, football season. It culminates in the finality of the football season, and I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great because I love football, and I think it'll be interesting. And I don't think either one of these teams should be heavily favored, and it should be a great game.
I think it's going to be, and this is one where so many people are on Seattle, and it's one where I kind of take a step back, go, okay, if so many people are on Seattle, kind of what are we missing from the New England Patriots side of things? And I think their front seven is really good. I think it's going to limit what Kenneth Walker can do, and then moving forward, Sam Darnold. I trust Sam Darnold. I think he's going to make big time plays in this game. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba would be my number one pick for MVP if Seattle wins this game. And then number two would, of course, be Sam Darnold. But I think it also comes down to, all right, that moment. I think each quarterback could make a mistake, and whether it's a bad throw, whether it's something that, bounces off wide receiver, goes into the opponent's hands, how do they manage that in a game of this magnitude?
Yeah, and like you said, the unexpected. I mean, those are the things, and the unexpected is going to happen. It's just how you adjust to it in a big game like this. Being in games similar to this, coaching, you just never know. I mean, you just have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to keep your composure, no matter what part of the game it's in. Guys, there's things that are going to happen. Younger guys, it's a little bit tougher sometimes for them to kind of adjust in a big game like this. And, you got to have leadership. And that's, stems from the culture that you build throughout the season. And these guys have been together, and, you're like family. And so you depend on your brothers and your sisters to help you get through these types of situations. And I think in a big game like this, particularly for, two teams who are, are relatively, kind of new to this newfound success. I mean, even though they're franchises that have been to the Super Bowl.
The Patriots have waited so long for a chance to win a Super Bowl. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and you don't want to get me started on them anyway. So.
We'll get you started next week. We'll get you back on that bandwagon next week with New England and everything that's gone down. And by the way, I know there was so much focus on the Hall of Fame with Bill Belichick or Robert Kraft. We did find out that there are actually people going into the Hall of Fame in the quote-unquote new era class. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, both first ballot Hall of Famers. And then you have Adam Vinatieri, who's a Patriot. He's going in on a second. And then Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
Who was a fantastic linebacker for the Carolina Panthers. It caught me off guard a little bit that he's in there, but, he was one of the standout linebackers of kind of the last, the 2010, that era for Carolina. Got to a Super Bowl with Cam Newton and that team that had a fantastic run until they were outdone defensively by Von Miller and the Broncos. And that was interesting, too, hearing Marvin Lewis discuss those two names in that draft class when Cam Newton went number 1 overall, and then Von Miller goes to Denver, and then there's A.J. Green for Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was a great interview. I thought Marvin, kind of kind of made us aware of some things that we probably didn't know before. That people get a chance to get a sneak peek behind the curtain when you have guys like that come on the show and talk about the NFL and the inner workings of the draft and Luke Kuechly, like you said, one of the things with Luke Kuechly, I always remembered players talk, and I know players don't really have a vote in this whole Hall of Fame process, but I always remembered players speaking so highly about what kind of a player Luke Kuechly was. And so, it was a surprise for me that he got in as well. But at the same time, when players know, and, there's guys who are just, they're in these places where, you don't get a lot of publicity being in Carolina, but was really a productive player. And, the fact that it took away a lot of the, the surprise of the Hall of Fame guys who got in was taken away by, of course, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick and their issues. But like this is a formidable class, and the fact that Larry Fitzgerald got in deservedly, passing Terrell Owens as far as being second in yards behind Jerry Rice, and Roger Craig, the 1,000. And Adam Vinatieri was clutch. And then Drew Brees. Everybody knows the history of Drew Brees being an undersized quarterback, a pocket guy, all those years, and was able to accomplish what he did, winning a Super Bowl. And there's going to be some other names that, the Eli Manning that didn't get in, and those kind of guys. There's going to be some things that come up about, whether those guys should be in. But this is a strong class and a well-deserving class, I think.
No, I think Eli Manning is one of the most interesting candidate for the Hall of Fame in a while, because if you kind of take a step back, he has the yardage numbers, he has some of that, but he was a 500 quarterback overall in the regular season, but he has two of potentially the greatest postseason runs in NFL history. He won 7 games on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a monumental feat. You're right, but and that's I always come back to this, and this is hard because journalists, and you're a journalist, Jay, and being a player, kind of a little bit two different things. When you get from players who guys are that are great players, and should the Hall of Fame be about the players, the guys who can really stand out individually as talent? Eli's name doesn't come up, and the talent of guys that are not in, and guys, the fact that some journalists may believe that hey, this guy wasn't as far as production and Super Bowls and all those sort of things, but players think it's like the Luke Kuechly. That's the thing you have to think about. Players really believe that players should be Hall of Famers, great players. And so I don't know where Eli fits in that that discussion. So we'll just have to wait and see. And like I said, it's really kind of a tough deal. I have my thoughts. I have some strong thoughts, particularly about the two that didn't get in. The owner of the Patriots and the head coach, but at the same time, this is a Hall of Fame, and Hall of Fame really, kind of dictates that you have to have some skill, talent, greatness about you, and sometimes that could be a little bit subjective for a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
That's quarterback Ned James. JJ Buck with you this morning. Coming up at 9 o'clock, we'll be joined by Jeff Grammer, beat writer for Lobo men's basketball with the Albuquerque Journal. We'll get his thoughts on UNM trying to bounce back after getting dissected Wednesday night against Utah State. I got a lot of thoughts, too, on some of the buzz coming out of that game, the talk on social media, what fans want to see, maybe some changes to the Lobos. And this is their first kind of humbling experience in a while. And the last one, you could say, and I'm talking about the Nebraska game, right? It was earlier in the season. You were a young team that was growing at that point in time, and we see how good Nebraska is. That's a potential team that could win multiple games in the NCAA tournament. But this one was a little bit different. It felt different Wednesday night. The disappointment coming off that game, especially knowing what's at stake, potential regular season conference championship, trying to stay in that race, and then you're bubbly now on the NCAA tournament bubble, and you're running out of opportunities to be on the right side of that if you don't punch that automatic ticket in Las Vegas. So got a lot to get to for you this morning on the opening drive. Super Bowl talk, Lobo basketball. We got some Lobo football to sneak in there too with the finally official transfer class and high school class that's coming in for head coach Jason Eck. And this is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as
What it do? Another multi-city production for you this week. Appreciate Mike Adams yesterday bringing his energy to the OD. Don't forget you can check out Mike Adams on Saturday mornings right here on The Sports Animal for the Mike Adams Show. Symbieto got some bowl business. I've been on the road with Lobo women's basketball as UNM has a double dose of Boise State tomorrow. The Lobo women here in Boise. Lobo men hosting the Broncos Saturday night at the Pit. We'll talk with Jeff Grammer coming up at 9 o'clock about some Lobo basketball. JJ Buck, the quarterback, Ned James with you this morning, and it's the big weekend, the big game. And you know what you need for your big game? You need yourself some Pizza 9. We got Mackenzie joining us this morning for our Sweet Dill interview. Good morning, Mackenzie. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, Mackenzie?
Cannot hear Mackenzie.
Yeah. Can't hear Mackenzie. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear the phone.
Hear. No, we can't hear Mackenzie.
I am sorry, Mackenzie. I cannot hear you on the phone. I know I'm out of the studio.
There you
got me now?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there she is.
I can hear
I
you
got you.
now.
Good morning, Mackenzie. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much. So Pizza 9 is our sweet deal today, and it's not too late to win a free party pack for the big game this Sunday. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we are giving away 3 small party packs. To enter, you just simply have to text the keyword touchdown to 833-350-0881. It's also on our website, pizza9.com. But be sure to enter today because tomorrow we will pick our 3 winners.
So get in on that right now. And in this party pack, what can you win? And if you're not able to be a winner, what can you get in that party pack this weekend?
So our party pack giveaway includes 3 pizzas, 16 wings, 1 order of bread nuggets, and 3 2-liter sodas. And then if you don't end up being a winner, you could, of course, order online at pizza9.com. We have a great selection of party packs that include pizza, wings, sodas, so everything you need for the big game.
And you guys got it covered. I know Pizza 9 is a favorite at our household with our young one getting, of course, the great pizzas, but then even the desserts you guys have. And that's what's so cool. Pizza 9, you guys have a lot of options. What is your go-to order on a big day like Sunday?
I would say our party packs are definitely one of our more popular order because, includes everything you need. I also highly recommend our green chili stuffed crust pizza. It's one of my personal favorites. So I would definitely recommend that for the big game.
Where's Pizza 9, our sweet deal today? It goes live 9 a.m. on our website, sportsanimалabq.com. And Mackenzie, it's going to be a busy weekend, a lot of people making their plans. So what can they do, especially ordering ahead so you guys can get them their food when they want it?
So I recommend pre-ordering on our website, pizza9.com. Simply select your featured date at checkout, and we'll have everything ready for you.
Fantastic, Mackenzie. Always enjoy the Pizza 9 Sweet Deal. I know our fans will. And you have fun this weekend with everything.
All right, thank you. You as well.
And as Mackenzie joining us, our Sweet Deal Pizza 9 for just $25. You will get $50 in gift certificates for Pizza 9. And what a great weekend it is to use it for the big game on Sunday. And, of course, Pizza 9, they have so many great stuff. You just heard the green chili stuffed crust pizza, the dessert, like the cinnamon roll nuggets type of deal they got going on. That's phenomenal. That's a favorite in our household. So at 9 a.m. this morning, sportsanimalabq.com, the Sweet Deal will go live for just $25. You get $50 worth of Pizza 9. I know, Ned, you are definitely big on enjoying food while we watch football, because we do it all season long with the Lobo road games when we're back there in the studio. What's your go-to Super Bowl meal?
Oh, man, it's always wings. And I definitely need to stop eating so many wings because my wings are starting to expand. So, yeah, I'm definitely a wings guy. Looking forward to the Super Bowl parties this weekend. This is always a great time of year. I mean, it's a good time and it's a sad time because it's, but you know me, JJ, I'm going to get into the UFL. I'm going to get into football in the spring. We got spring ball with the Lobos. We're going to talk a little bit of Lobos football a little bit later. But, it's really kind of a time where, you just kind of kick back and relax and enjoy the game. I mean, I really do stare and watch the game a lot. So the wings come at halftime. I try to, as I'm getting older now, I've got to push back away from the table. I got to do more push-aways than I do going to the table to eat these wings during this time of year, but it'll be fun. And like I said, pizza, I love pizza, but the pizza is even worse. My buddy owns an Italian restaurant in Los Angeles that I go to quite frequently. He has pizza, and so pizza is a staple in an American home. But at the same time, wings and pizza, I'll eat both of them actually during the Super Bowl. Are really great.
Why not?
For me.
You gotta get everything: wings, pizza, some nachos. Enjoy Super Sunday, and of course, you can listen to the game right here. Maybe you're driving around and you got to get some extra stuff in before the Super Bowl party you're heading to starts. Your home for the NFL is The Sports Animal. It's been brought to you by Hyenas Comedy Club. Check them out in the Winrock Town. So when we come back on the other side, you mentioned it, Ned. It's officially official. The final transfer class, the high school players that Jason Eck brought in. And I want to kind of highlight some of the biggest names in the transfer portal that Jason Eck and Lobo Football landed. We'll get into that next. This is the opening drive right here on The Sports Animal.
Current traffic. One family.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family.
OD in here on a Friday. What it do? Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate you sticking in there. And Boise, Idaho. We've got Lobo women's basketball tomorrow, 12:30 for you right here on the Sports Animal pregame show, 1 o'clock tip-off as UNM's road trip continues. The Lobo women won at Wyoming 58-51 on Wednesday nights, and then got back to the hotel and watched Lobo men struggle against Utah State. How do they bounce back and get the regular season split with Boise State, who comes to the Pit on Saturday night? We'll talk with Jeff Grammer coming up at 9 o'clock about that contest and UNM bouncing back, and really, what it means for the race to top the conference and trying to stay on the right side of the bubble if you're the Lobos at this point in time. JJ Buck joined by our quarterback Ned James, and talking a lot of football this morning with the Super Bowl on Sunday. But Lobo football made an official announcement of the 27 transfers that they brought in and 31 high school players that they added to the roster. And Sean Ryder, the beat writer for Lobo football, the Albuquerque Journal, put out a story a couple days ago about his 5 favorite players, and I do think the players that he singled out are going to be really interesting to watch in his transfer class. But one of them, it's Luke Moga, and hopefully I'm saying that last name right. But the transfer from Oregon, and this is what's interesting to me, Ned, is the dynamic of this quarterback room now. For Jack Lane, unfortunately, has another elbow injury. He had surgery. They hope that he's back, but he's going to be on that throwing limit once again during spring. So it kind of opens the door for these young players. You look at they had another true freshman they brought in from Oregon, the young quarterback from Arizona that was on the roster last year. And you're going to see a lot of young guys getting reps at the quarterback position during spring ball.
Yeah, and that's important. You want guys to get reps. You want to see what you have. You want to see if guys can make plays. They're gonna do a lot of contact stuff. Jason Eck is an O-line guy, and I always I'm discriminatory when it comes to positions and guys being head coaches, because I really think philosophically a lot of things are tied to just the makeup and the character of the guy who's played at a certain position in football. And Jason's an offensive line guy, and he's had to put his face mask on guys, and he believes in physicality and toughness, and I think that's what helped this team, propelled this team to several wins this season. And I think that's what's going to, be the case every spring. They're going to see if guys can actually play the game of football as opposed to just having these stats. You're going to play against college football players, and you've got to show that you're able to go out there and maintain some sort of excellence on a consistent basis. And that's what they're trying to find out. It's hard to do without going against somebody in a different color jersey, but you're going against your teammates, and it can get competitive, and you want to see how guys respond to that competitiveness, and you want to see how mature guys are. You want to kind of get a feel for culture, because you got to have some tough guys in there. I think losing. People don't see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. I always try to concentrate a little bit on other things outside of football, the culture. Just seeing, where, who the leaders are, how the team is, coming together as a group. And I thought Gabe Lopez, and those guys are quiet leaders, in the background, but Gabe added some toughness. I thought that, a lot of times you don't get from guys in the locker room, and guys, there's fake toughness at times, but I thought Gabe generally a tough guy. And I thought, Tavian Coombs is a tough guy too. He's always been, and the fact that he's coming back for another season is great. But the culture, when you bring a bunch of new guys in, you've got to maintain this culture and the attitude. And a lot of times coaches try to instill it in guys, but a lot of times it has to come naturally. It has to be organic. It has to come from the players. And that's what I'm looking forward to see. Just getting a feel for the guys, being around them, whether it's in the equipment room or upstairs in the coaches' offices or training rooms or on the field in practice or on campus even. It's those kind of interactions that you can kind of get a feel for where this team is headed. And the kids are going to talk, so you'll hear how they feel about where they're headed. And these new guys are going to have to be, kind of, I don't know, fitted in somehow into this new group, into the old group, I should say. And we'll see how that all works out, because it's more than just the talent. You've got to have the culture too. And, Jason Eck is a great start. Just his personality, and just and even his reputation before he even got here, a lot of that stuff people don't really understand or see or hear. But I always do background checks when guys come here. And I know it's bad, but I call around and just try to get an idea before I actually go and shake hands and meet him and talk to him. But this is generally one of the good guys in this business. And, we're really fortunate to have him here, and hopefully we can keep him here, and hopefully we can continue to have the success we had like we had last season.
Hey, Lobo football announcing their transfer and high school class. We come back on the other side. We'll dive into a couple more names that I think really stand out to me in the transfer portal because of what the Lobos did last year, what this staff was able to do, taking players that were outstanding players at the FCS level. Of course, you can play at the Division I level for sure when you're that good. But then also the Power 4 transfers that might have not have gotten a big opportunity, but then became some of the prominent players. And do we have a Dorian Thomas 2.0 in this transfer portal class for Lobo football? Of course, we got the Super Bowl on Sunday, New England and Seattle. Taking your thoughts on that. We'll talk with Jeff Grammer coming up at 9 o'clock regarding Lobo basketball. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time.
Back at it on the opening drive, a Friday morning, while Jeff Grammer coming up at the top of the hour, talking some Lobo hoops. How do they bounce back after the Utah State game? Tough contest, man. The Aggies just took away what they wanted to do on the perimeter. Lobos couldn't get going inside, and then I was surprised at how efficient Utah State was, but that's a really good basketball team on the other side, and a bit of a wake-up call for Lobo basketball. Not what you want to have in this season, but there's still an opportunity to respond. You have games going back the other way in Logan, the Aztecs coming to the Pit, a game in Reno to still try to add to your resume, but a tough one on Wednesday night. J.J. Buck along with our quarterback Ned James talking some Lobo football as they made their official announcement of 27 transfers and 31 freshmen. And this is a coaching staff that you trust. And Ned, you wrapped up kind of last segment talking about the leadership on this team. And I think that they're going to have a strong core of leaders, especially with the amount of players they bring back defensively that made plays last year. Tavian Combs, Jackson Eck. I think that's a really strong group on that side for Spence Nowinski and company. Now, I'm looking forward, too, to getting to know some of the new assistants that are coming in.
Right.
It was a great year for Lobo football, and that allowed them opportunities. New wide receivers coach, new special teams coordinator, new running backs coach that are coming in. But then it's also the playmakers. And what I think is interesting, the style of play. And we saw at the end of the season, and maybe a little bit was Jack Lane's elbow injury, but the games were tight. And the Lobos are scoring about 20, 23 points per game, running the football, playing good defense that final stretch of the season. So who's going to be that running back that emerges? Right. What are we going to see there? But having a wide receiver one is really important in this offense. They're not going to throw it a lot, but when they do, having that number one target is really important. And I'm really interested in how they got a UNLV kid to come to New Mexico. And they did that with wide receiver Troy O'Meara, talking 6'4", 210 pounds. He's going to be a 6-year senior this year. He had 31 receptions, 514 yards, and 5 touchdowns last year with UNLV. And a wide receiver one in this offense is super important, given they don't throw it a lot, but when they do, they usually look for that number one target.
Yeah, and Keegan Johnson was an explosive, dynamic number one guy. We didn't know what we were going to get because he was a little nicked up, I guess, in the spring and a little bit in the summer, but he was able to show up on game day, and that was important. I thought Colin Lockett, like you said, it's going to be good to meet these new position coaches as well. The receivers coach, and you and I both had an affinity for Colin. We both thought he was great and thought he did a great job with the receivers. John Johnson as well, the running backs, even though he's still one of our running backs out of the portal that we had committed. Those kind of things, what you're speaking to as far as these playmakers on offense. But Jason Eck's style of offense and his style of defense, because like I've always said, the head coach is the offensive coordinator, the head coach is the defensive coordinator, the head coach is the special teams coordinator. The head coach, everything philosophically revolves around the head coach. And so, defensively with Spence and Nowinski, I think we're solidified. We got a new special teams coordinator, new kicker, new punter. Those things are important, and that's the culture of the team itself. And so Jason Eck is responsible for all of those. And so we're going to see, what he's put together. And as far as bringing in playmakers, you need a kick returner, you need a punt returner, all those kind of things. And he I thought they did a really good job. And as the CEO of the team, Jason Eck did a really good job of adjusting on the fly, putting guys in. We had a little fumble issue with the punt returner. He put another guy in there. So it's those kind of little intangibles that, I know I'm excited. I mean, most people don't watch as much football as I do. I'm excited to get out there and watch them, just kind of see, where the guys are kind of lining up now. And, guys are, trying to, become the guy, because this is actually, you don't know who the starters are going to be, guys, it changes. It's moving parts. And so I'm excited about it. And I'm looking forward to see who those, guys who are going to have to be game changers, because we've lost 3 really good ones, and Bankston and DJ and Keegan Johnson. So we're going to see, and then the tight end, of course, Dorian Tom, transferred as well. So 4 new guys who got to come in and replace those guys. So we'll see what that looks like this spring and summer, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Cade Keith in his development at tight end, and this coaching staff, Jason Eck and company, work really well at that position. And keep an eye on Joey Olsen. Is this Dorian Thomas 2.0? Olsen is a former 4-star prospect, was playing at USC, not a big part of that rotation over the last couple of years. Now he comes in to the University of New Mexico, and I'm sure he saw what Dorian Thomas did last season about how tight ends can be emphasized in this type of scheme. Yeah,
and coming from the Big Ten, he should level up. He should take a step forward, but you just never know. I mean, it doesn't just because you're at Michigan or USC or Notre Dame or Alabama or what have you. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to success when you step into this Mountain West Conference. But we'll see. And it's important that we all understand that these new guys, are getting used to this altitude too. So there's going to be some cramping. There's going to be all kinds of things their body's going to adjust to being here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they all come around, this next few weeks and in the coming months as they prepare for next season. Okay. All right. We'll be right back. 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of Celebrity Green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stove.
AM 610 KNML, the Sports Animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, one of two ain't bad. You get JJ Buck, we got a quarterback, Ned James, with you this morning. It's the opening drive here on the Sports Animal. It's a double dose of Boise State tomorrow. The Lobo women are here in Boise, where I'm at. Take on the Broncos at 1 o'clock, 12:30 pregame show for you right here on the Sports Animal. Back in the pit, the Lobo men take on Boise State. 8 p.m. tip-off coming off that game against Utah State, going down by beat writer for Lobo Basketball Albuquerque Journal, Jeff Grammer. Jeff, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing really good. Excited for also the final Football Friday, a real game on Sunday. As a 49ers fan who thought they were never going to lose again, the Seahawks are in against the Patriots. What is your pick for Sunday?
Man, it pains me to say this because of what they did to my 49ers, but I mean, the Seahawks are a really good team, and I do think the Seahawks are going to win.
Get in line. And this is one where, man, I push back a little bit. I'm right there. That was my feeling the entire week, but it feels like everyone is picking Seattle, and that means it's probably going to go the way, right? Like, do we have to at least take the points?
What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong when everybody picks the Seahawks?
Yeah. That's what you're wishing for.
Yeah, I think we need to all kind of take at least the points with the Patriots to cover ourselves on Sunday. But we'll have plenty of time this weekend to figure that out. Lobo's back on the court Saturday night against Boise State. And so we got done in the Dome of Doom. All got back to the hotel, and we were super excited to watch that game. Great energy from the pit. But what happened, Jeff, on Wednesday night? Just the Lobos haven't looked like that this season. Maybe early in the year when they played a fantastic Nebraska team, but this has been a team that's been able to respond, that's played 40 minutes of basketball really good, and then Utah State just that.
So you mentioned the Nebraska game. I mean, I would tell you that even then, I mean, Nebraska's a better team than Utah State, but the way Nebraska punched UNM in the mouth, what was impressive about it is they still kind of scrapped and clawed their way back into the game. It was a 4-point game at one point in the second half, that Nebraska game, after the worst first half I've seen all year. And they were able to kind of respond as to what you said. It's like, why weren't they able to respond Wednesday night is sort of the big question. And we got to see if that's a one-off, because they have been able to respond every other game this year. I mean, you can look at every one of their losses and you can figure out why they lost, but it was never that they weren't able to respond. Wednesday night, they had no answer. It was the first time all year that it was down the stretch that they just looked really bad. And it was a great game plan by Utah State, first of all. It was take away Jake Hall, take away the three-point line. And when you do that, if you're a team that is predicated on playing 4, sometimes 5 out, and creating all this space for driving lanes, and the team is going to play you that hard on the outside, on the perimeter, you should have back cuts. You should have driving lanes. You should be able to get into the lane and have success. But Utah State took that away too. And if you're able to take away from this Lobo team both the three-point line and the ability to get in the paint, there's not much left, because this isn't a team that has a bunch of one-on-one, go create your own shot kind of guys. And I think that's where what you saw Wednesday night was you took away the two things in this offense that you better be able to do one of the two to have success, because there's just not a whole lot of one-on-one basketball on this offense. And without it, sometimes you need it. And without it, that's what you saw Wednesday night.
At this point in the season, you're not going to have an overreaction. Now, there's plenty to work on from the coaching staff standpoint. You're not going to completely change the way you play at this point in time. But I think for the Lobos, it's going to be, what else can you do? How do you add to it? And I know I've seen the conversation on social media. You pointed out Antonio Chol, just 2 points, coming off 4 points against San Jose State, and everyone thought he was going to be something that he's really not in this offense. But it feels like maybe the coaching staff might have to get him going a little bit earlier. And what do you think of Antonio Chol, being able to add to the mix?
Antonio Chol, when I say there's nobody on this offense that can create their own shot, Antonio Chol being 6'9" with 7-foot wingspan and a 3-point shooter, seems like he should be able to get his shot off on the perimeter a whole lot more. Now, he's coming off a stretch of probably 2 or 3 weeks where fans probably are growing kind of tired of seeing him just shoot the three and not get inside and rebound and mix it up a little bit. That isn't what this offense really wants of him. They don't want to clog the lane by having a 6'9" guy and Tomislav Buljan, plus their 2 defenders go clog the lane. That's 4 big men inside. So they don't really want Antonio Chol inside. But when you're 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan and a high jump shot, his release point's pretty high. Like, you should be able to get that shot off a little more. I do think Antonio Chol needs to be more aggressive. His only bucket Wednesday night actually put UNM up 33-31 in the first half with 2 minutes to go. And his only basket of the game was a pump fake on the perimeter and drive by somebody and get a layup. He needs to do that a little bit more. I would say Antonio Chol's one guy, one opportunity, if you're looking for kind of what's not being used right now, one opportunity for this offense to get something it hasn't been in recent weeks, it's Antonio Chol's aggression. I think he needs to be more aggressive. Aggressive doesn't mean just fire up threes all the time. Aggression means sometimes just sort of instead of making that next pass and finding the perfect shot, accept the good shot that you have in front of you and shoot over somebody. So I do think there's an opportunity for that. Boise State isn't the best opportunity because they have a whole lot of 6'7", 6'8" guys that can match his size, but I do think Antonio Chol's going to have to be a lot more aggressive.
I got two questions for you, Jeff. The first one, historically, as far as the pit goes and 20-point losses, and you've seen a lot of basketball in that pit, and you've seen some losses in the pit. I don't know quite to this magnitude, but have you ever seen a loss in the pit that you can compare this to historically? Because the 20-point thing just really, watching the game and seeing just the fact that, people were saying, oh, they couldn't get the ball to fall and those kind of things. And I understand with the young guys being out there, the freshmen, you can use that too as one of the excuses. But as far as it goes historically, can you compare this to a game that you've seen before that they've lost like this with this magnitude, this many points? And the second question is, can Antonio Choi be a 3-and-D guy? Can he be the guy who can shoot the three and then defend the best player that's 6'9" or above on the other team?
So I'll answer the Chol thing first. The 3-and-D, he can. I think he can. I think he's a very good defender when he wants to be. Well, I shouldn't even say it like that. That implies I'm saying he's not playing defense. He is. I just think that I think teams, because every coach I've talked to, about 3 or 4 coaches I've talked to about Chol specifically, have told me they really like him, that he is a matchup nightmare, and it makes sense at 6'9", right?
Yeah.
He can defend and he can block shots. I think he can be that guy. I don't think he has been that guy necessarily, but he can be. And I think he needs to probably take a little more control as much as they let him. It's possible that they are so much into this team concept, they are kind of hammering it into him. Don't take over because we need you to make that next pass. And I get that, but at times when you are as gifted as he is and you have the skill set he has, sometimes you do just have to take that shot and take over a little more. As to the 20-point loss thing, I will tell you this. I have never covered a game where the Lobos were good like that, where this is a good Lobos team. I mean, this was a first-place game in February, over a month into the conference season. I do not recall a game like that in the pit where a good Lobo team was beat like that. I saw some Paul Weir, some late-year Craig Neal teams like that. I know McKay had some losses like that. I can recall a Steve Alford, a 29-win Steve Alford team that was a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, go to San Diego State and get beat like that. But I've not seen it in the pit. Usually the pit and the Slobo team, the crowd can get them to respond enough to, even if they lose, not lose like that. So I don't recall too often when I've seen a game like that where it is a good Lobo team and they just had no answers.
Yeah, it was so weird. I've never seen that before. You're right. I mean, I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way. That's why I had to ask you that.
Yeah.
We're joined by Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal. Lobos and Boise State tomorrow night, and the Broncos coming off that overtime win at home against Nevada, where they blew a 20-point lead and then held on to win it in overtime. And Boise State, that first meeting of the year, they were able to frustrate the Lobos, just kind of their physicality, slow down the offense. Kind of what do you expect this time around, and maybe the little tweaks, not just against Boise State, but especially coming off that Utah State game?
This will be interesting. If nothing else, this gives us an opportunity for the first time, really, under Eric Olin. Look, I know they've now had the repeat game once with San Jose State, and frankly, it wasn't a great game. They weren't dominant Saturday. They won, and they won a conference game on the road by 10 points, but they didn't defend very well. But this is the first real test where you've seen the rematch, right? So we get to see some good adjustments from both teams, frankly, against the Eric Olin system, but also to see Eric and his staff and how they're going to adjust to Boise State. Because what happened December 30th in Boise, their length, I thought, prevented good ball movement, and they weren't able to get the ball inside. And I think that was a big problem. I think the fact that Boise State took away the passing lanes, a lot like Utah State did, frankly. I thought that was what made UNM's offense look so bad in Boise, which is a little concerning. If Utah State just did that, and it looks like UNM's big problem is being able to get the ball in from the perimeter. If you're going to take away the perimeter and you can't get the ball inside, like I said, that's really going to stop a lot of things in this offense. So I would be shocked if you don't see, as much as it drives some fans crazy, Dayton Albury driving a lot more than he did against Boise State. Uriah Tenet driving a lot more than he did against Boise State and against Utah State too. I think those guys are going to have to impose their speed and get in the lane a little bit more, because Boise State really only has 2 point guards, and they have everybody else on that roster are big, slower 6'7" guys and taller. So I think the 2 short guards are going to have to use their speed to get in the lane a little more, and they're going to miss some shots in the lane. They're going to miss against some shot blockers. They're going to miss at the rim some. You're going to have to kind of put up with that, because what they're also hopefully going to be doing is dumping it off to Bouillon or kicking it out to a Jake Hall, but they have to drive and get in the lane.
And Jeff, we'll send you out of here with this one. Kind of all week long, I was talking about, I thought Utah State, San Diego State, and New Mexico kind of had separated themselves from the rest of the pack as, really the conference contenders. And yes, Grand Canyon and Nevada only having 3 and 4 losses could go on a run if something else were to slip up. But before the Lobos now, you look at the opportunities ahead to not just try to stay in the conference championship race, but really, get yourself back on the right side of the bubble. How do you view kind of the tiers down the stretch with Grand Canyon and Nevada right there? Boise State seems to be, the pesky one that can get you every single night. What are you looking at the final couple weeks of the season?
It's hard not to want to really be tempted to take New Mexico out of the top tier. They just lost by 20 on their home court. I then remind myself that they beat Grand Canyon by 20, the same team that beat both San Diego State and Utah State. They beat UNLV. It was 38 points before they just emptied their bench, and UNLV went on a 13-0 run, ended up only being a 28-point road win at UNLV. That's a UNLV team that went and beat Utah State on the road. So to take UNM out of that top tier is understandable if you only look at what happened Wednesday. If you don't look at San Diego State and Utah State as also having flaws, I think then you're kind of missing the point. So as of this point, I'm keeping UNM, San Diego State, and Utah State in the top tier of those 3 by themselves, with Grand Canyon and Nevada in that second tier fighting for the final bye, which is the top 4 teams get a bye in the Mountain West tournament. Grand Canyon is a really good team, but they just lost to Nevada, so I can't put them in any tier above Nevada. It's going to be a fun February. The rest of February is going to be fun because all these teams play each other multiple times, and I'm looking forward to it. But at this point, I'm not going to overreact from Wednesday and take New Mexico out of that top tier. But obviously, they have a game to make up at this point against San Diego State and Utah State.
Check him out at Jeff Grammer on the social media handles. He's got his great pregame show, great coverage of Lobo basketball. Enjoy the pit tomorrow night, sir, and I always appreciate the time.
Sounds good. Last time Leon and Boise State come to the pit.
I know, and it's the last time being in Boise as well. I'm kind of going through that tomorrow, and we'll see if these teams ever want to play each other again.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it.
See you, Jeff Grammer joining us this morning. Check out all his coverage at the Albuquerque Journal. He is the quarterback, Ned James. I'm JJ Buck, and this is The Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
This is Unfiltered with Kenny Thomas.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, The question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now. Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's rich.
Night out in the Glen Rock Town Center for great comedy action throughout the year. Lobos and Boise State in action tomorrow night. Great conversation with Jeff Grammer, of course, seeking catch coverage over on News Radio KKOB. 7:30 pregame with Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green. 8 o'clock tip-off. I'm in Boise for the Lobo women as they take on the Broncos. It'll be 1 p.m. tip-off tomorrow, 12:30 pregame for you right here on The Sports Animal. Been having a lot of fun conversations this morning. Marvin Lewis, that was appreciate you hooking that one up, Ned. That was a lot of fun talking with him this morning, his coaching journey, which included a stop at the University of New Mexico. And, I asked him about the defensive coaches, and we're seeing that in this Super Bowl with Mike Vrabel and Mike McDaniel, guys that are defensive coaches in a league that we love the quarterback. We love the coordinators, but it's been these two coaches that have set a tone. Now, Josh McDaniels is a fantastic offensive coordinator. I think what Mike Vrabel has been able to do is he's a Patriot, but it's not the Patriot way, right? It's not, it's just another Belichick disciple. It's just another Bill Belichick branch off the tree. He's been able to carve out his own lane. I think that was what was so important about his time in Tennessee with the Titans and the success he had there, with Ryan Tannehill. And, they beat the Patriots in the playoffs with Derrick Henry and company. But I think that's what's been impressive for Mike Vrabel is, he's a Patriot guy. He respects that organization, but he's set the tone for the team this season.
Yeah, and like you said, he got the training. He's not on the job training. McDonald is different in Seattle. He's learning as he's going. Vrabel has been the head coach of a team, has been a part of an organization, so he understands what you have to have and what you need. He's gone to the playoffs. This is the first time he's won in the playoffs this season. So it speaks a little bit to, how well he's, to get this far, in his second, time around as a head coach. Sometimes, guys learn that first time and they're able to, use that experience and propel their second team to a championship. And he's done that. He's done it in a way that, most people didn't expect. He went on the road and beat a really good, solid defensive team in Denver and weather, which, plays a big part of it. And, I know they lost their quarterback in Denver, but Vrabel was still able to manage that game well enough to get a win in Denver and to get to this point and be able to be a part of the Super Bowl. And defensive guys, like I've always said, that's how you win games. You got to win on defense. You've got to be able to find a way to get offenses stopped, and then special teams is how you win the championship. And so we're going to see that this Sunday. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I really do think it's a good game. I know a lot of the picks, whether you're watching the coverage throughout the week, it's been Seattle. I do like Seattle in this game. I think Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith-Njigba are going to have a standout performance. I think it's going to be tough to run the football for both teams. So I'm looking at Drake May having to make some plays with his legs. Sam Darnold connecting with Jackson Smith-Njigba. And if there's going to be something that flips this game one way or the other, I think special teams-wise, Rashid Shaheed being a midseason acquisition from the New Orleans Saints and what he's meant to the Seahawks special teams, I think that can be a huge factor on Sunday.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see your top 10 wide receivers so I can see where you slot Jackson Smith-Njigba, even though he won the Offensive Player of the Year award. I want to see where you slot him in against the rest of the wide receivers in the NFL. But with that being said, yeah, it's going to be an exciting thing to watch, to see, how these two defensive coaches go about their plan in the Super Bowl, because it's all about the plan. It's, who is going to stop who and who's going to score against who. And so I'm looking forward to it. And I think you said it perfectly that these two head coaches, it's going to be time to see which one kind of gets to carry off the Lombardi.
And speaking of the impact that Mike Vrabel has had in New England, we're going to play you the conversation we had with Bob Socci, the voice of the Patriots. He was the original voice of the Albuquerque Isotopes. And I'm telling you, Albuquerque can propel you places. But Bob Socci joined us this week to discuss, Mike Vrabel, how he's been able to come in and just kind of change the vibe of a team that won 4 games last season and then take a sophomore quarterback to the Super Bowl. And, of course, he also shared his thoughts on kind of the noise that was Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft this week when it comes to the Hall of Fame. That conversation is coming up next, and it is the opening drive right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier. Me to it, and the person expressed, being shocked. And I said, I'm not that surprised, but I think it's wrong. I mean, I think Belichick certainly is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Let's start with him as a head coach. But then, and to me, my follow-up reaction was, it's a disservice to the Hall of Fame. It really chips away at the credibility of the Hall of Fame. And also, I think a disservice to a lot of the people in our business, although it's got to be noted that not everybody on that committee is a media member, but I think, the general feeling for a lot of people in the public and fans in particular is not positive toward the fourth estate. And, so I felt like those are my initial reactions. But as I read more about the process, I really see the flaws in the process itself. I read the column by Vi Gregorian of the Kansas City Star, why he didn't vote for Belichick. Mike Chappelle of Indianapolis as well wrote something, and those, to my knowledge, are the only two reporters or people who were part of the selection committee who have gone on record. But, there's no question. Bill Belichick's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Should be a unanimous pick regardless of what anybody thinks of him, and I think that is important to note, that regardless of what your personal feelings are, you got to set that aside. And I think Spygate was dealt with. Deflategate was much ado about something that was very little, and I think that the 6 Super Bowls, the 2 with the Patriots, the impact he had as the Giants defensive coordinator with the 2 Super Bowl championships there, and their success so closely tied to the defense of those teams that Belichick coordinated. To me, that's enough to overcome the questions going in. And as far as Robert Kraft is concerned, there's, I think, the feeling among some that no owner should be in the Hall of Fame. But once owners are put in there, I mean, it's hard to again, like with Belichick as a head coach, in my opinion, to say, okay, Pat Bowlen goes in, he deserves to be there. He's in. Jerry Jones is in. Well, Robert Kraft, you're going to stay out again. And I just don't understand that point of view. And I think that, for me, again, reading the tea leaves, once Belichick fell short, started to question whether Kraft was going to get in, as opposed to both going in without Vinatieri this year. And I certainly hope the Patriots' great place kicker is inducted into the Hall of Fame. But that's my thoughts. I would say that the reaction in New England has been strong and certainly vocal, and I think consistent for the most part. That Belichick and Kraft both belong in the Hall of Fame, and I see it very similarly.
What's your gut tell you when Brady comes up? I mean, the same message, because JJ and I have had this conversation. You think absolutely he gets in?
Without question, absolutely. And who knows? The way things have gone, especially the reaction to the Belichick. I don't want to say snub. I mean the Belichick result, and I think some would link the Kraft result in with this too. That the process needs to be changed. You have guys who are voting for senior player or veteran players who are in their last year of eligibility, for example, and so you've got a choice between two. I think this guy belongs in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why the coach, owner, contributor are grouped in with them, and I also think they need to expand the committee. I understand why those people, the 50 selectors, are on there. I think it is important to have people that have been around the game for a long, long time who have a perspective of football, that goes back to the 60s, 70s. The young reporters may not have, but I do think they need to expand it. I think the votes should be on the record. I think the process needs to be more transparent, much like other selections are concerned. When the media asks for accountability from the subjects we cover, though I only want to make it clear, I'm not saying this is somebody who thinks himself a journalist. I'm a team broadcaster. But I think that, there ought to be that same level of accountability on our part to the fans and to the people that are up for selection.
That's fair. That's fair. It's good to hear you. It's good to catch up with you. I got one request. Bill sent me an email. He had a request for Bob Socci. He says, Jeff, can we hear him say Rob Stratton one more time?
God, I haven't heard that name or thought about that name in a long, long time. How about if I say Rob Stratton, and then I add Jason Wood and Kevin Hooper, and I can go down the line of great Isotopes past. But it's good to be with you. And speaking of great Isotopes past, congratulations to John Traub. Yeah. One of the great people in sports that I've been associated with. Very, very fortunate to be hired by the Isotopes when I was, and to have the pleasure of working for John.
He's one of the best, and he's a good friend to both of us, I know. Hey, have fun. I know you don't take these things for granted. I know you know how lucky you are to be in that seat, to have the Patriots get you there. So enjoy it and continued success, and I'm really, really happy for everything that's happened for you.
All right. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Be well. Bob Socci, voice of the Patriots. I mean, he's got one of the best jobs in the NFL, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's good. All right, good to catch up with him. You can respond to what he had to say, especially the Hall of Fame stuff, and I thought there were some really good perspectives in there in regards to the team. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610 Sports.
This is a Westwood One Sport.
To thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family.
95.9 and 610, the Sports Animal, taking you home. JJ has left us. He's on his way to watch UNM women's basketball practice and get ready for his game that he's got to go to tomorrow night. But just to kind of recap what we talked about earlier, a little bit, the NFL Super Bowl this weekend. Everybody's getting ready for their Super Bowl parties and enjoyment of this weekend, which will be officially the last day of professional football, NFL football of the year, and then everybody can go into the depression that we typically go through in the wintertime as we get into basketball a little bit more, and UNM basketball and NBA basketball. Just to talk a little bit about some of the NFL stuff that's going on today. And this weekend, a lot of people are kind of interested in where the Rams are going to go with Puka Nacua, this receiver, and if he's going to get paid. I think he probably should get paid. I know they're going to have to kind of maybe take a shaving with the now MVP Matthew Stafford, but Puka Nacua, his contract is up for renegotiation, and we'll kind of keep an eye on that. The Cowboys and Pickens, I think, will not get paid. I think, he's going to probably have to take his services elsewhere if he wants a big payday, because he's going to be a little bit too pricey. The Cowboys are already paying CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. It'll be difficult to kind of wedge a big salary into that team with those two guys making a large chunk of the money. And I know the Micah Parsons deal wasn't done because of that, and I don't think George Pickens will get the kind of money he's looking for as well. We talked a little bit about the NFL honors, and that was something that with MVP going to Matt Stafford and it being such a close race with him and Drake May, the fact that Drake May, they said, came up maybe almost a vote short in that race of maybe being a co-MVP with Matt Stafford. Is the talk, since he's going into the Super Bowl this weekend. But another thing that came up as well was Roger Goodell speaking on the lack of diversity in the NFL coaching hiring cycle. 10 job openings for the head coaching job, and there wasn't a black coach selected this time around. This is probably the 5th time this has happened, but with so many jobs opening and no black coaches hired, the Rooney Rule was mentioned, and Roger Goodell spoke to the fact that the Rooney Rule was enforced and all the teams really did comply. Yet and still, the lack of diversity with black coaches in the NFL is a continuing problem, and it's something that Roger Goodell has said that he's going to really look into again. He does say also that there has been a net positive with the hirings of blacks in the NFL within these organizations, and he's going to definitely take a deeper dive into it this offseason to see exactly, how we can, enact some diversity in these organizations that are primarily run by guys who don't look like what's on the field, which are the players. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that, and I think it's something to kind of keep an eye on with the NFL as it relates to players and coaches and management and ownership. And a lot of people are also talking about the fact that the Crafts was snubbed in this Hall of Fame voting cycle, and Belichick. And I include Tom Brady in this also. I mean, morally and ethically, I think the right thing has been done. I think, there is some integrity in voting. I think, the fact that people are trying to poke holes at the process and question the process because these guys didn't get in, because Belichick didn't get in. And no one's speaking to the morality and the ethics of guys who should be in the Hall of Fame. A lot of lawyers and judges call into these sports talk radio shows, and it's really interesting to hear judges and people and attorneys and those kind of guys who have to deal with law and order and those kind of things, and the fact that there's no allocution, there's no admission of guilt out of Belichick, out of Kraft, and his doings as well, and Tom Brady as well. I mean, I think Tom Brady also, I've mentioned on this show before that I don't believe those guys should be first or second ballot Hall of Famers. If Terrell Owens doesn't get in on the first ballot because people don't like him, he didn't break any rules or do anything of that nature, I don't think these guys deserve to be first or second ballot Hall of Famers. If you have any modicum of integrity, morals, or ethics, you would think that as well. And I think that's what the voters, the message that they sent, much like baseball. I mean, there's a lot of guys. I love Pete Rose, not in the Hall of Fame, won't allocute, won't ever admit to guilt. Tom Brady, I've been nicknaming him Tom the Cheater Brady because he hasn't allocated. He hasn't admitted that he did any wrongdoing, even though he was suspended. And, there's no asterisks by those Super Bowls for the Patriots. But yet still, they've got the Lombardis, and now the Hall of Fame comes calling, and I think the voters did the right thing. This issue with the NFL and black coaches, I think is something that we're going to keep an eye on. I think also Roger Goodell has spoken. I really like Roger Goodell and what he's done for the NFL and how he's used his platform as a commissioner in the NFL to create diversity. I mean, there's more women than ever in the NFL, and scouting and personnel and coaching, and that's a positive. And anytime you can have diversity within any kind of organization, it's going to thrive, and that's why the NFL is king in this country. Pro football and football in general is king, and it is because of the diversity. And what you see when you go out and watch a game, you see all cultures come together and form unity, and that's what it's all about. And we're going to end the show now, and I just want to thank our guests that came on the show today. I really thought the interview with Marvin Lewis was fantastic. If you want to, you need to go back and listen to that one, because I thought that was excellent. Marvin, who used to coach here, who was coached 16 years in the NFL. He was 16 years as a head coach in the NFL with the Cincinnati Bengals. Was a great defensive coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens in their Super Bowl run. Linebacker coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chad Brown, a guy that I coached, was one of his position coaches when he played in the NFL. A lot of guys here in town played for Marvin when Marvin was an assistant coach here with the University of New Mexico Lobo football team back in the 80s. It was just great to hear that he's kind of has a fondness for us, has a place up in Santa Fe, which is great to hear. And he and his wife come there every year to kind of relax. And also Jeff Grammer speaking on the fact that the Lobo basketball team, is still in the hunt, and he still believes that they're one of the top 3 teams in the conference, which is great to hear because I really think the Lobo basketball team is great and is on a great path. And I just hope we can keep Coach Olin here. Eric Olin, just a good guy, just knowing, his friends and a lot of people that he knows down in Mobile, Alabama, to be able to keep him here, even though he came from San Diego. It was great to hear Jeff Grammer speak highly of this team and where this team's direction is. Like I said, this was a great show today. It was fun. Thank you guys for listening. Have fun this weekend. Enjoy your Super Bowl parties. And remember, come back next week, 95.9 FM and 610 The Sports Animal will be back Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Bob Walpole. Great job this morning getting up early for us. And everybody else for listening. Have a great weekend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletic. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Into nothing. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journey